Hi everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here with another TGI Friend Day. And today we have Temecka from the Library of Tomes. And when I found out Temecka's age, I was shocked because she is a baby, but she does not act like it at all. And her and I's reading tastes are very different, and yet I am addicted to her content. She does blogs, she does all sorts of things. So Temecka, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Temecka. I'm from the Library of Tomes. I am a baby. I'm only 23. And I read a lot of dark romance, a lot of taboo romance. Specifically, that's kind of what I go for.
Yeah. How did you get into reading?
I got into reading when I was 11. I was not the kid that read like all through like grade school like everyone else does. I moved schools and I was severely depressed. There's my mental illness plug. So I had this friend that got me into reading. I'd started reading Twilight and she was like, hey, if you like that, why don't you try this? So I started reading the Vampire Diaries, and I don't know how the books would hold up now. I've heard they're absolutely horrible, but I
Yeah.
love them. I read the entire series in a weekend. And
Really?
then I came back and I was like, do you have anything else? Can I have more? And that's just how it started.
Yeah. So you read Twilight first and then the Vampire Diaries?
I
So
read the first two books in the Twilight, and then I immediately read the entire series of the Vampire Diaries.
so did you read Midnight Sun recently? Like
No, I didn't.
is Twilight one of those like super nostalgic things for you, or is it more like the Vampire Diaries?
Yeah,
Ha-
it's the
ha-
Vampire Diaries, 100%.
Have you reread it since?
No.
Do you ever
No,
want
I'm
to?
scared to reread it.
Yeah.
I'm really scared to read it because I know it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
I love the show, though.
Yeah, well, I almost feel that way about Babysitters Club. Like they're all back there. I read as a kid, I like could not put them down. And now I'm like, I reread a few, but I'm really nervous to like actually reread them and have my opinions change. Why did you start at Booktube?
So I left that middle school that I was at, and I went to high school. And the entire time I was in high school, I just stopped reading because it was like a different environment, and the kids there were like, I don't want to say I cared what people thought, but I totally cared what people thought,
Yeah,
and
and
they would
reading's
like
not cool.
pick at me because I like to read. And then I found BookTube my senior year, or not my senior year. It was like the summer before my senior year of high school,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, that is so cool!" And
Yeah.
like I had already known about BookTube because a friend of mine tried to do it, and we were in like seventh grade or something.
Mhm.
But I forgot about it. So when I found it again, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And I was like, "I'm gonna do this." So I
Yeah.
started reading again. I was like, "I love to read," so I just started reading again, and I was like, "I'm gonna make this BookTube channel, and I'm gonna do this." So that was 6 years ago. So
Wow. Wow. So you've had a channel for 6 years, and have you ever taken big breaks
yeah,
or anything?
all the time.
Yeah.
So my first channel was it was on another, it was a different channel, so it's not the one that I actually use now.
Yeah.
And then I messed something up on it, and I had to like restart another channel. But
Oh.
I have taken a lot of big gaps. This is the most consistent I've been the last year that I'll say year and a half. The last year and a half, I've been the most consistent.
Yeah. So how did you decide Library of Tomes? Do you really like tomes?
See, that's the weird thing. I don't really know how it happened. I honestly have no clue because my sister asked me this literally the other day, and she was
Oh,
like, "What
really?
does that even mean?" And I was like, "It means big books." And at the
Yeah.
time, I was like, very anti-romance, which is not the case now.
Funny.
So I was like, I like big books. I'm a scholar. Like I had that stupid mentality, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with it, and it just stuck. Now I just love it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it fits. So how'd you get into romance?
so I from the time I started reading, the only thing I cared about in the stories I was reading was the romance. So I don't know how I didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But Brianna Hill's actually who got me into romance, which is probably why I love her so much.
Yeah.
Um, so I decided I wanted to write romance, and I realized that that everything I was reading that I loved was very romance heavy, and I just said, okay, I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna read it, and then that's what I did.
So how did your career in journalism shape your reading, or did it at all?
It didn't.
Yeah.
I was a huge reader going into college because I finally got gotten out of that big reading slump that I had. So really going in and doing journalism in school and then also doing journalism like as a job it didn't change anything. It didn't make it harder to read because it was two totally separate things. The thing that did was it made it really hard to write.
Oh, really?
But reading was like, it was the one thing I had that could like help me relax with having stressful days. Because if you're a journalist, if anyone knows, it's a really stressful career and it's a really stressful type of just thing to do every day because everyone is against you in that field.
Do you like nonfiction at all?
I do. I like memoirs, and then I like reading books about like business and entrepreneurs. So I do like them. I just don't read them as much.
Yeah. So how is writing going now? Are you still writing?
I have taken a break. So I left journalism in July. I think it was July. And I haven't went back to actually trying to write. I took that break because I was experiencing a lot of burnout. But I'm not saying I don't have plans to go back to it in January. But I've been playing around with a couple ideas.
Okay. So more to come, maybe. So you talked about books kind of pulling you out of a mental health funk in high school. Are books and reading an escape for you? And like, is that one of your strategies for kind of helping with mental health issues? Or how do you feel about the relationship between reading and mental health?
It means a lot to me. Reading is how I don't like saying that reading is the reason that I lived through the first time I was really depressed, but it is in a way. Reading is one of the things that no one can ever take away from me, and I have a lot of peace knowing that that no matter what's going on in my life, there have been people who have tried to take everything away from me and make me miserable, but they'll never be able to take away the fact that I can read. So as long as I have my phone or I have my books or I have literally anything, I can always read. So I have a lot of comfort knowing that no matter how sad I am or no matter the situation that I'm in, no one can take away the fact that I know how to read.
Yeah.
And so, I have a lot of comfort knowing that. So just having that is a lot of help. And when I do struggle with mental health, it's hard to focus. So audiobooks are a lot of help. So I do use it, but I also procrastinate a lot. So that's another, it's just part of the anxiety though. So yes and no.
Yeah.
It's a complicated answer.
Yeah. And I feel like that message though needs to be more prevalent, especially with teens and that kind of thing, because reading, like you said, is so like bullied in schools and that kind of thing. And the job of librarians and teachers and that kind of thing to put books into kids' hands, especially kids who may be struggling with mental health, I feel like is so important and does not happen nearly enough. Back to lighter stuff. You talked about Brianna Hill being one of your favorites. Who are other favorite authors?
That's a good question. I love Katie Robert. I love Katie Robert a lot. She writes a lot of dark and taboo romance. She writes a lot of erotic romance, so a lot of hers is banging is the entire plot. But I also love Megan Quinn, which is really surprising considering she writes sweet sport romances. But I absolutely love her. I think like when I am in the mood for that, like she is perfect. I love her so much.
Yeah.
She does every single time. And then I also you're putting me on the spot. I'm really bad at picking favorite authors.
It is hard. That can be enough.
But I also like Mary Wan. She writes the historical romance series that I really love. So I really like her too.
So you're a recent fan of historical fiction. Tell us how you got into it and what you like and don't like in it. Because I'm not a fan, but you just kind of like dove all in and came out a fan. And so I'm like, I want to know, how did that happen for you?
So I had this idea I was absolutely not going to be interested in historical fiction because I don't really like historical fiction that's not romance. And I don't really like history in general. History is like, I was just never interested in it in school. Yeah. So I did the reading vlog where I read historical romance for the first time, and it was a lot cuter than I thought that it was going to be, and it was a lot. I don't know. I really like the Highlanders, and I really I just like the Scottish romances. Those are my favorites. There's something about a man in the kilt Love it.
Really? Oh,
Yes,
that's so
I
funny.
love it.
That is
And then
awesome.
like I love how sassy the heroines are. I think a lot of the issue that I had was I was afraid that it was going to be too historically accurate because like I don't want to read about a time where women didn't have rights and
Mhm.
they were told what to do because I'm not going to let anyone tell me what to do. So
Right.
I think getting past that fear was a lot of help. But there's a lot of historical romance that I've not tried yet. So I'm really, really picky about which ones I want to pick up because I'm really
Yeah.
only interested in Highlanders right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, go with it. Go with it. That's funny. If you ever go to Scotland or something, hey, you'll find somebody real nice there. Um, so what are some of your favorite tropes?
I like enemies to lovers, but I've read so much of it now that I think I'm almost burnt out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love age gaps. Obviously, that's like one
Yeah.
of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time. I love age gaps.
Do you have a preference
And
for older
my
man
other
or older woman?
older man,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I like older man and then younger girl, but I don't typically want like a huge age gap. I prefer 10 to 15 years is
Yeah.
like the sweet spot
Yeah.
because I feel like that is the most realistic.
Yeah.
Like my dad and my stepmom are 10 years apart, so
Yeah.
that just seems normal to me.
Right.
Um, and then like it needs to be a very specific situation for it to be like older than that.
Okay. Any other favorites?
I really like fake dating. That's one that I just recently have started to get into, and I really, really like that one.
Yeah.
And I also really like single parent, even though I
I do
don't like
too.
kids.
Yeah, that's funny. I do too. And
Yeah.
because especially what do you think about kids in books? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I don't have any children, obviously. I have dogs, which you probably
Yeah.
just heard them bark. I do have a goddaughter, and she's 5, so I don't have a lot of experience with children in general. So I never really know if they're portrayed accurately or not. And I
Okay.
think that's a lot of the issues people have, and I don't have that experience, so I have no idea.
Right.
Like, so
Right.
kids usually don't bother me in books
Right.
that bad. I prefer if they're like there but not super like on
Involved.
page.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what single parent romances do pretty well. Like the kids are there,
Hmm.
but not like they're not a character really. They're just there for the fact that they're single parent.
Yeah.
So another genre you like a lot is Christmas, correct?
I do. I love Christmas. I'm
Yes.
actually about to start reading all the Christmas romances and I'm so
Yay.
excited.
Yay. And fake dating, that's one you can find a lot of Christmas fake dating.
Hmm.
That'll be fun. I'm excited to see the vlogs.
I'm
Um,
excited. I love them.
yeah, they're so good. Like so good. I can't even wait. So what are some of your least favorite tropes?
Um, this one's not really a trope, but it kind of is the cheating in books. The cheating trope. I hate that one. I talk about that all the time. I literally give books 1 star because they have cheating in them. I don't like. Um, it's not that I don't like friends to lovers. It's just I don't gravitate to friends to lovers. Um, and then I don't really gravitate towards second chance romances, and I specifically don't because I just there's a lot of trust issues there, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me to like get over that as the person reading it. So it's hard for me to like really care about the two characters getting back together.
Yeah, or like believe that they actually would and it wouldn't be just temporary. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the similar to that. I do like Marriage in Trouble, but I don't like Second Chance, which is weird because it's kind of the
Yeah.
same thing, but not.
Yeah. Yeah. That is interesting. Huh. Interesting. Um, so I don't know what to say about that. uh, okay, so let's go with that. What do you wish there was more of in the publishing world? Because I don't feel like there's a lot of Marriage in Trouble. And yeah, so what do you wish there was more?
Yeah. I do wish there was more Marriage in Trouble. I wish there was more sapphic romances
Hmm.
in publishing. There's so many male romances that are written by female authors, which I am not a huge fan of. I don't want to read a male romance if it's not written by a
A
man.
male. Yeah.
Just like I don't want to read female romances, like sapphic romances, unless they're written by like a queer woman or a woman in general.
Hmm.
But I wish there was more sapphic romance. I feel
Yeah.
like it's so easy to find just straight romances, and it's really easy to find male romances, but I don't feel like it's easy to find sapphic. And there was more of it.
Yeah. Outside of like random novellas, you don't really see like any full length novels that are that way. And yeah, that is definitely a big gap. Is there anything that you think you want to see more of in the booktube world?
That's a good question. Do I want to see anything else? I want to see people reading more. Um, I don't know. I want to say trad romances, but I feel like that's just because I feel like everyone reads trad romances.
What is that?
Um, I don't know. Traditional,
Oh, oh, okay.
traditional,
Yeah, yeah,
traditionally published.
yeah,
And versus indie. But I think that's just me thinking because I only read indie romance off the
yeah,
top.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I would like to see more of in BookTube. I think I would like to see more because I've seen a lot more people reading darker romance and a lot more people
Hmm.
reading like taboo romances. So I feel like I want to see more people reading like age gap romances and
Sure.
detective romances and stuff like that. Like more of the things that I'm already reading, so I can get more recommendations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell me your opinion on 50 Shades of Grey, because I feel like if you talk about taboo romance or dark romance or any of that, anybody who is not in that world is like, oh, so you've read 50 Shades of Grey. What do you think about that?
I've actually not read it.
Really? You
I've not
should.
read it.
You should, just to know what people are talking about. And I have read them, which it just shocks me because I'm so like such a prude, but um they're very addicting. Like they will suck you in and they are very, very, very addicting.
I do have them. I have the first one on my shelf. I had planned on reading it, and then COVID happened, so I didn't really. The plan that I had to read that with just didn't go through. But I do plan on reading it at some point. I've watched the first movie, um, but I've heard a lot of bad things about it, honestly, and that's kind of steered me away from wanting to actually read it.
Yeah, the writing's not good. And I mean it like does BDSM like bad. You know, it's not good, but for curiosity and just it's addictive. So give it a shot if you've got it. So what are some of your favorites of the year? I don't know when this is going to come out, but you can tell me 2019 if you don't want to ruin best ofs for this year.
I don't care. I will tell you this year because I won't tell you my top favorite of the year because I haven't
Okay.
decided yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you two that I really, really liked. And the first one's obviously The Black Box by Brianna Hill. Are we surprised? No, absolutely not. I've talked about that book a lot recently, and I didn't realize how much I loved it until recently. And it's really weird because this one does have cheating in it, but
Yeah.
there is no romantic feelings between our hero and then the person he's married to.
Okay.
It's purely a marriage of convenience.
Okay.
And he falls in love with his stepdaughter. So it's very
Ooh.
taboo, very,
Yeah.
very taboo. And it's a Zorro retelling, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to say much because it is a novella. It's only 25,000
Okay.
words, so it's really short. And if I say anything else, it'll spoil it all. But
Okay.
I love that book a lot. And then the other one that I want to mention is I'm trying to pick my top two favorites of the year already.
It's hard.
The other ones that I would want to mention, I don't know, because I don't want to spoil my top two.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, okay, I'm just gonna go with The Black Box because that one's an
Okay.
obvious one. Everyone knows that Brianna Hill's going in the list this year.
For sure. So you are really good about making recommendation videos, and I am not, for the reason that like you are able to pick your top two, and I'm like, can I do 20 of the year, like 20 for 2020? Like I just can't pick and I can't narrow it down, and I'm not decisive. So yeah, recommendations and lists like that, you nail it. What are some of your least favorites of the year?
Oh, okay. So I also read The Skeleton King this year.
Yep.
I pushed Izzy to read it. I'm claiming that. So
Yep.
that's in the list. I also read The Wild this year, which is by Kay Webster. I don't know if you know what that one is. That one is the incest one between the
Okay.
father and the daughter. Um, don't recommend. Hello, Dallas. Are you starting to
Oh.
join the
Oh
stream
my
here?
goodness.
So I don't recommend you read that one.
Okay.
That one we read for the Taboo Book Club, and it is sorry.
It's okay.
um, that one is incest with the father and daughter. And he actually hits her to the point where she throws up.
Oh.
So like he physically abuses her. He grooms her. He is 40 and she is 17.
Yeah.
So easily in my least favorite books of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will give Kay Webster credit though. She had she had a good she was good at storytelling because she made me want to keep reading. It was like
Yeah.
a train wreck you couldn't look away from.
Yeah.
So for that, I do want to read her again.
Yeah.
And she does give a very extensive trigger warning. So it is
Yeah.
not. Um, she does give you plenty of warning on everything that's going to happen in the book. So it's not like she lets you go in blind. Um, I just can't.
Too
I can't
much.
get behind the entire story.
Yeah. Too much.
Yeah.
So what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading manga, which is fun. It's new for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm reading Orange. That's the first volume. It's about this girl who gets a letter from her future self. And one of her classmates is going to pass away, and she's trying to change that and make that not happen. And it's really, really cute, and I really love it. I'm halfway
Wow.
through it right now.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Manga really intimidates me, but that sounds
Yeah.
like something I could get behind.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really good so far. And I really like horror manga, which is completely opposite of what I normally read.
Hmm.
But my sister forced me to read some manga, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
So we have talked about in this video romance, like dark romance, Christmas, nonfiction, manga, horror. Is there anything you won't read?
Yeah, I don't read fantasy. I don't read
Okay.
fantasy or science fiction or westerns. I really like thrillers, but when it comes to it has to be somewhat contemporary based.
Yeah.
Like normally, paranormal has some kind of contemporary base to it,
Hmm.
or normally horror has a contemporary base to it. So as long as there's a contemporary or modern day base or something for me to ground myself in, that's the only way I can actually consume it. Like if not, it's too much and it just goes right out one ear and out the other.
A fantasy just makes me feel stupid. Like my brain does not function that way. Like, and so then I just am
Yeah.
like confused and yeah, I don't like it. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I read the books when I was actually in high school when I started reading the books, and I didn't finish them until I was almost done with college, and I never watched the movies.
Yeah.
So I want to say yes and no, but I also am not supporting J.K. Rowling after
Yeah.
the way she acted. So it's a very complicated answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that answer the question? Yes
That
and no.
yes, yeah, yeah. I like they're okay. I've read them. They're fine. And yeah, now knowing that she sucks, it's like not a big loss for me. But hey, well, are you ready for the rapid fire this or that?
Yes, Dallas is also ready.
Okay. Oh, that
He
is
said
not
he wants to be in the video.
that. What are your dog's names? Because that's not the one that you
This is
told us right
Dallas.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
my whole
gosh,
headphone
he's
just
just
came
a
out of my ear.
lover. Oh my goodness.
So this is Dallas. He is 3. He is I rescued him. And then Phoenix is in there. She is the blue pit that I just Dallas baby, I love you so good, but we gotta get down. She just turned 1.
Okay. So you have the two.
Mhm.
Pit
Yeah.
bulls are great. Okay, let's start. So ebook, audiobook, paperback, or hardback?
Audiobook.
Buy or borrow
Borrow.
with both ebook or audiobook and physical?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quiet or background noise?
Quiet.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Meet your favorite author or meet your favorite character?
Character.
Because you've met you've met Brianna Hill, haven't you? Yeah.
No, I've not met
Oh.
Brianna Hill. I've met Maggie Stiefvater though, and I love her a lot.
Oh, really? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Book to film or book to TV?
TV.
Classics or new releases?
New releases.
Do you read classics?
No.
I don't either. I mean, I very occasionally will, but not really. No new books or no rereading?
No rereading.
Standalones or series?
Standalones.
Solo or book club?
Book club.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
And what's your favorite snack?
Does Dr. Pepper count? Popcorn.
Dr. Pepper and popcorn together, sweet and salty, delicious.
Yes.
And you're from the South. Do you ever put peanuts in your Dr. Pepper?
No, I only put it in Pepsi.
And really, why?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Because I grew up putting it in Pepsi, and I won't put it in Dr. Pepper.
Really? That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in Coke Zero.
It's great.
Coke Zero is my thing of choice. But anyway, well, that is it. So, Temecka, tell us again where all we can find you. Your channel, you're on Instagram too, Twitter, book club. Where
Twitter.
all can we find you?
So my channel, Library of Tomes, that's me. I have Twitter and Instagram. That's the same username, Library of Tomes. Then I have Goodreads, which is linked in all my stuff. And then the book club is in the Discord. It's in Jen's Discord. And then just wherever we happen to be on whoever's channel that is that week or that month.
Okay. Well, I will have all of that linked down below. And Temecka, thank you so much for joining me. This was so fun. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.